The history of conversion therapy is barbaric, trying to convert people from gay to straight using chemical castration or transplanting testicles into them, lobotomizing them, or even using electric shocks administered to the victim while they're being shown gay porn. It's absolutely crazy. Even the less severe forms of conversion therapy, where people are hypnotized or have the laying on of hands from priests or are coaxed to pray the gay away by imams, cause emotional pain and mental health issues in vulnerable people. And as you can probably guess, conversion therapy doesn't work. Administering electric shocks while showing gay people gay porn doesn't make them straight, it just introduces them to a fetish. God is probably happier with straightforward bumming rather than bumming while clamping your nipples to a car battery. One of my mates, Steven's gay, like totally gay, like wears a bow tie, loves big veiny dicks in his face and up his ass till he feels like he's underwater, like totally gay. And when he was growing up, his parents were these Scottish Catholics, and let me tell you, Scottish Catholics could give the Taliban a run for their money. They could see he was gay, so they sent him to this religious straightening out camp in America where religious dudes get you to pray the gay away. But I don't think they really thought this system through, because if you get 200 gay teenage boys together at a camp, like overseen by Catholic priests, there's not going to be less anal sex going on at that camp, you know what I mean? So I thought this was pretty stupid, but then I realised it's like when your dad catches you smoking a cigarette and he makes you smoke the whole pack. Like, these kids are going to come back from the camp with arseholes like a car crash. They are never going to look at a dick again, so maybe that's how the system works. So it would seem to make sense to outlaw the medieval practice of conversion therapy, and that's what the government ostensibly wants to do with its conversion therapy bill that they're rushing through in time for an LGBTQIP2SAA conference next June. I'm not taking the piss, by the way. That's literally what the acronym is right now in December 2021. But this bill hides some dangerous proposals. It would ban conversion therapy for sexuality, but it would also stop doctors exploring options other than gender reassignment treatment for patients, including children who present with gender dysphoria. So if somebody thinks they're trapped in the wrong gender, then a doctor could be prosecuted if they discuss any treatment options other than gender reassignment, which typically consists of puberty blockers, hormones, and irreversible surgery. There are a few big problems with this. The first is that, unlike sexual orientation, gender identity isn't well defined and understood. Sexual orientation is straightforward. If you're a man and you're attracted to men, you're gay, and if you're attracted to women, you're straight. Gender identity is much harder to pin down. As woke people will tell you, gender is a social construct. The Human Rights Campaign defines it as one's innermost concept of self as male, female, a blend of both, or neither. Whatever that means, it's not simply and clearly defined or objectively measurable by behaviours such as sucking dick if you're gay or eating vag if you're straight. And sexual orientation is easy to change. If you do decide you're bisexual instead of straight, you just start eating some vag as well as dick. Changing gender, on the other hand, involves drugs, hormones, delayed puberty, surgery which is damaging and difficult to reverse. Starting puberty blockers often begins what doctors call a treatment cascade. The vast majority of those prescribed puberty blockers go on to take cross-sex hormones. These drugs have powerful side effects. Puberty blockers can stunt growth and weaken bones, and cross-sex hormones precipitate irreversible changes such as the growth of facial hair in women and the growth of breasts in men. Long-term use affects fertility. Surgery to remove breasts is permanent, as is surgery on the genitals, which also causes infertility. And gender identity and feelings of gender dysphoria can be influenced by many factors, as reported in The Economist. Clinics and psychologists report that many trans-identified patients also suffer from depression and anxiety. Some have had abusive childhoods, many are gay or lesbian, and may be confusing their emerging sexuality with a cross-sex identity. This is why many gays and lesbians feel that they're being erased at the moment. A few seem to have homophobic parents for whom the idea of having a straight trans daughter is preferable to having a gay son. I mean, this is actually government policy in Iran. Between 60% and 90% of children identified as trans eventually seem to reconcile themselves to their biological sex, so long as their cross-sex identity is not uncritically affirmed. Obviously, for many people with gender dysphoria, reassignment treatment and surgery is the right approach. But what someone thinks they want when they're 12 might not be what they want a decade later. So we're seeing a growing number of detransitioners who come to regret their gender reassignment treatment and suffer health and mental issues. So it would seem that talking to patients and letting them explain how they feel and what the causes are, like you would for any other dysphoria or medical issue, makes good sense. This is exactly what doctors should do. They shouldn't fear prosecution over it. We should also be wary of the motives of the self-appointed experts. An industry has rapidly grown up around transitioning. In America, the number of gender reassignment clinics has gone from 1 clinic to over 50 in just a few years. The therapists and doctors who are making money from this have a vested interest in encouraging people to transition, just as Ben and Jerry's want people to buy more ice cream. And the decisions they're making aren't based on rigorous peer-reviewed research. They can't be, because the academic environment is systemically woke and hostile to any examination of these issues, so the research is all one-sided. Questions are seen as criticisms, objective analysis is denounced as transphobic, anyone raising objections is hounded from their job, like Professor Kathleen Stock was from the University of Sussex. The final issue with the conversion therapy bill is that it's fixing a problem that doesn't really exist in the UK. Homosexuality is widely accepted and seen as normal here. 5% of gay people here have been offered conversion therapy, which is 5% too many, but they're mainly from religious communities and are offered prayer or some other kind of mumbo jumbo. Nobody's having testicle transplants or having their testicles clamped to a car battery while they're forced to watch Anal Fisting Bears Volume 12. As with other legislation getting rushed through government, a bit of time for a balanced and open debate wouldn't do any damage. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and consider becoming a patron to support me making these videos. For the price of a cup of coffee every month, you can help me buy sausages and go to the cinema and stuff like that. Thanks for watching. Cheerio. Bye.